Hi, we're John and Chelsea Jubilee with Energized Health.
And today, we're doing an ask for $1 million.
Hi, my name is Camberato. I help companies get funding to grow their businesses. Here on Fund Tank, I want to help companies just like you grow fast and grow the right way.
Hi, I'm Bianca D'Alessio, founder of the Masters Division at Nest Seekers International and #1 top producing real estate broker in New York City. I can't wait to meet these hungry entrepreneurs ready and eager to grow their business and take it to the next level.
My name is Jason Greer, also known as the Employee Whisperer. I'm the founder and president of Greer Consulting, Inc. People come to Fund Tank looking for money. I want people to consider the bigger implications of what that money looks like.
Fund Tank is presented by National Business Capital. To work with Joe's team, go to nationalbusinesscapital.com/fundtank.
On this episode of Fund Tank, we have John and Chelsea Jubilee, powerhouse couple. Company is called Energized Health. Their business is all about hydration, really interesting. I'm just curious, does this really work? Are they gonna get the money they're looking for? You'll find out how important it is that you're clear and concise with your pitching and what you're delivering. It's important for your customers. It's also important for your employees, so stay tuned.
Hello, we are John and Chelsea Jubilee with Energized Health. Today we are asking for $1 million to grow and scale our thriving health business.
We own a scientific protocol that literally is transformative at the cellular level. Intracellular hydration, which we have the only patent pending science in the world of, is the root cause of 99.9% of all illness and disease. When cells are dehydrated, they're unhealthy. And so we literally have a science, and we have a formulation, a way to deliver the science. And we can be transformative, we can change the world, and we can solve this crisis. But we gotta have money to scale it and to fund it so we can help people to be well.
Well, first off, I think you guys have amazing skin, so something must be working right in your product.
We really believe we're gonna be $1 billion company because we have a life-changing, one-of-a-kind, patent-pending science that is transformative. And so we're looking for someone that's really more of a strategic business partner.
Now we're in a position to scale, and that is why we need this funding.
I have a lot of questions to unpack, but let's start off with first is how much is your current revenue today?
So we'll end the year out just short of $4 million.
Okay. How many employees do you guys have?
We have about 43 employees, but half of them are coaches. Part of our protocol, they get a coach for accountability, and half of those are spread out nationwide.
So 43 employees, so 22 of those are coaches to the employees?
Yeah, well, the reason we say that is because a coach only gets paid if they have a client. It's not like you have an employee that you have a fixed hard cost. It's only if we're making money, we're paying a coach.
Okay, got
So
it.
that's why we'd differentiate those.
When did you guys start the business?
1997, I had a bunch of health issues myself. I was bone on my knees, high blood pressure, hypertension. My waist was about 10 inches bigger than it is today. Did every diet. You know which one works? All of them for a minute, right? they all work for a moment. So frustrating because it wasn't sustainable. So I went and studied thousands of pages of science, came up with this health protocol for myself. Then I started helping all these other people. I didn't leave my business. You know, I was managing a couple hundred bank branches, so I wasn't gonna leave that job. So I was helping other people have the same transformative experience I had, but I didn't really have a business. In 2019, I married this beautiful girl. She's interviewing me for a book she's writing on neuroscience.
So when John and I originally met, I had a huge passion to help people overcome what we term as cellular trauma. So we kind of married not only together, but our sciences. And so that's how Energized Health was born.
Do you currently have any debt on the business?
We have around $200,000 of a Stripe loan that we took out.
You guys are looking for $1 million. What is it that you're looking to use the money for?
Half of it is going to be used for advertising. So currently our ROAS on our advertising, our ROI if you will, is 5-to-1 on our advertising. So half of it will go toward advertising. We already know what that will yield. The other portion of that is going to be used for our inventory. 2 months ago, we just launched our product line. They yielded $52,000 revenue in 2 months. So our clients are very loyal to us. They become part of our community and they stay in it. And then With what we do in health and wellness, we have a lot more doors that can be opened up to us with the clinical study. So a portion of that would be used toward a clinical study as well. And then we're really big on infrastructure. That's part of our issue of what happened to us.
We made over $750,000 in 1 week of demand. We do not have the infrastructure to take care of this much business.
We gotta pull back a little bit and focus on infrastructure, because if we don't have that built, it's gonna jeopardize our customer service. We don't ever wanna jeopardize customer service ever, especially in health and wellness. We are dealing with people's livelihood here.
Can I ask, that 700,000, was that product specific or product plus the counseling services?
That was zero products.
Just our protocol, which would you could consider a product, is our protocol.
Yeah, so our protocol is a product. That's our main product. So our benchmark product is our scientific protocol that people sign up for.
A protocol,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Is that like a
So
coaching session,
Yes.
or like a program, or like
Yes, it's a coaching
Okay.
program.
Okay.
So it's a combination of, it's an online-based coaching program that does also come with a personal coach. We also do a live Zoom call once a week with our clients, and they have a daily video that they have as well.
Okay.
So it's a full-on coaching program.
So the core
that they
amount of that
purchase.
$4 million in revenue is coming from the coaching piece, or from selling? Like, how much is that broken up in coaching and in products?
All of it is from the protocol, other than the 52,000. So the 2 products we came out with are just supplements. So our
The coaching
protocol
program.
includes the coaching. It's all in one. It's all inclusive.
So I guess, and you don't have to give it all away, but you're basically coaching people on what they should be doing in their lives. I thought when you guys first talking that there was a supplement that you guys created that helped, like hydration, and maybe retain the right things out of water or something like that.
Well, first of all, I wish there was that, because
Okay.
I've turned down $78 million on supplement deals. So I said, no, there's no magic supplement in the world. I wish there was. But there is a scientific sequence, and there's a process that if every person will just do this, I can guarantee 4 things that will happen to them. They will gain intercellular hydration, measurable. They will gain lean muscle mass, measurable. They'll lose visceral and subcutaneous fat, and they will improve and or reverse any stated health or medical condition.
So it's an 88-day protocol and 2-week preparation. So we call that the foundation phase, the 2 weeks. So in that time frame, they have a coach that is helping them through the sequences. So we give them 3 simple things to do the first 14 days, and then 3 simple things to do the 88 days. That's what makes up the protocol.
Okay, so the core product is for people that are overweight, and what else?
Anybody that is struggling with a disease or they're not up to their full self.
Got it.
It's really who the core is, which is pretty much 80% of the United States.
Or they're on any type of medication, or they want to increase their energy level. So just like a dimmer switch, when you're dehydrated, it's like turning down the dimmer switch on a light. You get hydrated, the dimmer switch goes up to full bright, you got full energy, full power.
How much is the program?
It's $5,000 if they pay in full. It's a lifetime membership, so they never lose access to what we do or any of our coaching calls.
Got it.
And we also offer AR, which is for $6,000, and they make a down payment and then they pay monthly.
Got it. Over what period of time?
Well, right now we're very gracious with people because unfortunately we deal with people who are very sick. A lot of these people too are on Medicare, so we're very gracious with them. And
Okay.
right now we've kind of just, you put a painful down payment down and you can collect monthly.
It's usually $1,000 down, $202 a month.
Got it.
Is
Okay.
an average.
Okay. Was the company profitable last year?
Yes.
Okay. What's your profit margin on that package?
Well, we're going to end the year profitable about just under 500,000.
Okay.
So we're at about a 14% profit margin right now.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the challenge I think that everyone faces, especially around that like $5 million mark. I've just seen with companies, it's like, and this is where things get really interesting and wobbly. You start to realize like the cracks and where some of the challenges are. So this is like a very unique place, but very normal, I think, for most companies.
Yeah, what kind of infrastructure have you put in place for your coaches? And I'm not talking from a training perspective. If you're using a lot of nurses, one thing nurses always say, who's actually taking care of them? Your people are dealing with a lot of obesity issues, they're hearing a lot of emotional stories. What are you doing to protect them?
What we've done is, there's a company called HubSpot, and we've invested a lot of money with them to build out infrastructure for our staff. So what happens is every coaching call that they have with them, if there's something that comes up that triggers something emotionally, it gets triggered into a funnel for a follow-up call. So we have a lot of that already built out. So it keeps a pulse on the health of our clients, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, yeah.
I feel like we've gotten there now, but with putting $500,000 towards ads, I think it's taken us a while to get to the marketing component. And I think I see that as a challenge here because it seems like the product is very real and it's very helpful. How do you condense that into 30 seconds, 45 seconds of actually understanding what this proprietary system is that you're offering?
We have literally put almost probably about $250,000 into content creation. So we've had animators, working on what a cell looks like. So we have a lot of that marketing material. So our ROAS right now are on ads that we just place on a network. And as soon as we go to a new network, like say Fox or something like that, it's 5-to-1 virtually every time. So we want to expand into more networks like Hallmark, things like that. Our clientele is 57% women. I think Hallmark would be amazing.
Well, we definitely know someone that could get you into some networks. What's your feedback? What are you guys' thoughts?
I love it up front. My biggest concern is there's a lot of promises that are being made. What happens if someone gets sick, the protocol doesn't work, and they get sued?
Yeah, I was thinking lawsuit through the whole conversation. Is that 3X number, is that real? Where does the business start to have challenges?
Yep.
I just think it's just natural with any business. Like, it's not their business, it's all of our businesses when we want to grow and scale. Once we go exceed past a certain point, each business can only handle so much until you add more people and really have those repeatable processes to handle that. So that's interesting.
I think there's so much proprietary information here, and I think I see a marketing challenge. There's no doubt that their target market is huge, but what are you actually getting? And I'm also curious to know, with that dollar spend investing into more supplements, is that where the margins are higher and that's where they'll be able to sell more?
I actually thought the supplements, instead of just putting out products, there's probably a subscription part of the business there that actually could be pretty amazing and probably change the valuation and the multiple of their company. And you can get kind of people into like a monthly regimen and have some predictable revenue instead of just trying to do these blitzes to just sell supplements on social media or whatever, and ads, do blitzes for like subscriptions, and that could be like add-ons to all those 100 people, I think, per month. A lot of people miss that. They have great opportunities for subscriptions in their business, and they're just big misses, and they could be highly profitable, and I know supplements are extremely profitable.
I want to understand what happens when they start having issues amongst themselves, because they have an entire business built around their marriage, around their stories, but they're humans. So if you have 88, you have 100, 200 coaches that are completely dependent upon them, what happens when they start to have issues amongst themselves?
A lot of these businesses that are especially built around people, especially these coaches and consulting, that's always like the hardest thing, to fully pull yourself out of the business. And you could do that and still be the face of the business, but not be the one doing everything and being on those calls. And I think there's going to be these certain points with, whether it's 10 million, 15, 20 million in sales, there's a point where you'll have to really pull yourself out in order to allow your team to rock and roll and run with it.
Right.
I mean, what do you think about the numbers, what they're asking?
Overall, there's a 14% net profit margin, but I'd love to know individually when they sell that 5,000, like what is that profit margin based on the people that they have today? I think that's really important. I think that's going to be really important for them to know as they grow.
How do they differentiate themselves from a network marketing? Because that's the first thing that I think of when I hear this story. And network marketing in itself, even if that isn't the case, has such a negative connotation.
Yes.
And they mentioned patent pending. What is that patent really on? And they're going to put this stuff out there. Is there a risk for other people to run with this process or reinvent it in a different way? I think the things that we're talking about, and these are going to be real things that are going to happen, as you guys grow and scale. I think the numbers are going to be really important. Like, what that 5K, what are you making for that? Okay, it's 6K if you want to do it over time, that's great, but that should be a set thing, and it should be universal for everybody. This person had a payment plan, and this person had a different one. It's silly, but it could wind up working against you. And I just feel like it's also easy when you just have things that are structured. I think the subscription is an awesome move. I think there's a huge opportunity there that could even wind up being bigger than your current business if it's done the right way.
Okay.
And you have people that stick with it, especially ones where you can lock people in for 6 or 12 or 24 months. It might be hard to do that, but subscription businesses automatically bring up that valuation and they become predictable revenue, and supplements are very profitable. The other thing I think as you grow and especially start borrowing money and doing things, having that, like you have AR going out over a year, that doesn't look good to lenders. Lenders are going to be like, why? And if those payment plans, if payments are being missed, as you really start to go out and either raise money or bring lenders in, that could wind up becoming a challenge. So keeping that AR tight and structured. The other thing too is if you guys start spending money and borrowing money based on, hey, we're selling this thing for 5K or 6K, and you're not collecting that in a predictable process, it can wind up biting you as you start to sell more and more. And I've just seen this happen in so many businesses where they're bringing more sales in, and then it gets out of hand. Because if the business is not managed the right way from a financial perspective, then you guys are gonna blow up and you're gonna be out of business. And two things are gonna happen. You're gonna crush the people that are working with you, but more importantly, you won't be able to keep delivering your mission. So I completely get what you guys are saying, and I'm with you and I love it, but there's gotta be a set structure with that. And maybe it's limited to X amount of people that you do on a monthly basis that you work with based on a situation. But if that becomes a wishy-washy thing that's not managed, I see so many people that drive sales and their collection process is an issue, and they actually wouldn't have to borrow money if they nailed their collection process. So as the company grows, that can get really out of hand. A few things just when it comes to financing and what you guys are doing. You guys are really selling direct to consumer, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to financing, especially bank financing, you're gonna have a major issue. You really won't be able to get it because you don't have any assets or receivables. You have AR, but they're from consumers. So banks look at assets in like 3 major ways, which a lot of people don't understand. Real estate is the most obvious asset. Everyone gets that and understands that. Then you have B2B receivables. When you're selling direct to consumer, you can't leverage that AR, which becomes an issue. And then it's inventory. Maybe over time with those supplements, there could be inventory there that you could leverage. Supplements get really weird when it comes to inventory, and there's a shelf life. So that will be a challenge when it comes to bank financing. As you grow, some things you might want to think about are maybe corporate contracts or agreements, or B2B in some of those sales. That could help you on the financing side when it comes to bank money. All going to be based off of your cash flow. Because I'm thinking as a lender, if you don't manage that cash flow, you're not keeping decent amount of money in your bank account, you're not showing a profit, you're gonna wipe away all access to capital, and then the only thing will be an equity deal and selling pieces of your business or putting your own personal money in. So a lot of times people don't understand this, they wonder why am I not getting money? So as you grow, being really careful in managing that cash flow, because if it gets really tight or you start to show losses, you don't have a waterfall of lenders. You're falling right into cash flow lenders. So if you mess that up, it's gonna mess up what you're gonna be able to borrow and how you're gonna be able to grow. I think based on what you've told me so far and everything that we're hearing, you guys are profitable, it's great, you have a decent margin. I think there could be really cool predictability in the business. I think the subscriptions could be awesome. I think based on where your real revenue is today, $400,000 to $500,000 is probably where I would come in to do something for you guys, and I do want to work with you guys. More importantly, everything that you're talking about, the prediction, the infrastructure that you've done, well, let's start with something in that $400,000 to $500,000 range. Let's prove that out. Let's not over leverage your company. Let's see it work, and then we can give you money on an ongoing basis, and I can give you money in tranches, and you can keep scaling and leveling up that growth, and we can work into $1 million. And if you can continue to do it, we can continue to grow that. But managing that cash flow, the team and the infrastructure is going to be really key here for me to be able to continue to work with you guys.
Well, thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it.
I thought it went amazing.
Ditto.
I really like the advice that we got, because sometimes advice is more valuable than the actual money. We got the best of both worlds today.
Fun Tank is presented by National Business Capital. To work with Joe's team, go to nationalbusinesscapital.com/funtank.